He's a country musician, award-winning singer-songwriter.
So when I was 4 years old, my parents put me into acting and modeling. So I had spent half of my life on set.
Social media is a thing of the world nowadays. So if you don't have it, you're missing out on great opportunities, sales opportunities to reach new audience.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Ignition Point, the channel for entrepreneurs. I'm Debbie Hart.
Sean Finnegan.
And today we have both Kyler and Madison Fisher, super family here. He's a country musician, award-winning singer-songwriter. Madison has this huge following on all the platforms, and their children are famous as well. So welcome to the show. We can't wait to hear about all of the things that you guys are up to.
Thank you. And I'm also an entrepreneur.
Yes,
as
we
well.
know. Multi-entrepreneurs, both of you, and your children. So you've got Sheen sponsoring you. You've been speaking on Disney channels lately. Let's just hear, how did you guys meet? And then how did you get the ideas for all of these multiple entrepreneur ventures that you're on?
As you can tell, Madison's like super hot.
Oh, thanks, Kyler.
So naturally, when I saw her, I was smitten. And I hit her up on Facebook back in the Facebook days. Hey, how's it going? I see you have a boyfriend, but when you're finished, let me know.
Back in 2012.
It was 2009.
So you didn't see each other in person.
2009.
You didn't see each other in person first. It was like just you saw.
It was a Facebook message, but I had known his roommate in college, and so we had some mutual friends. So he just DMs me, and then he drives down to California to take me on a date because I was living there and he was living here in Utah going to college. And he would drive down every weekend. 9 hours to take me on a date.
Sometimes on Thursdays, so I could get there early.
And
so did she have a boyfriend at the time?
She did.
And so that was obviously done away with, and then you moved in?
I moved in pretty quick.
He said, let me know when you break up with your boyfriend so I can take you on a date. And then we broke up pretty quick. And so then Kyler just started driving down.
I actually heard that it was on the rocks. So that's, so it was a lot easier for me to say that.
So then he swooped in, started driving 9 hours every weekend to see me. I could see his commitment levels.
How many weeks are we talking about? 9 hours?
About 2 months.
2 months every weekend.
2 months of that, and then
he moved next to me.
And then I moved in Huntington Beach,
a street away from me. So then we got to finally hang out every day, and then 3 years dated, and then we got married. And he asked my dad to marry me 3 times, and he said no every time.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why did your dad say no? Is there a story there?
He's just a goof. He just doesn't really.
He wants me to just be friends.
He just wanted. He's that way with all the siblings. Like, oh, you guys are great friends. I'm like, Dave, they've been dating for like 2 years, dude. Like,
he refuses to call anyone our boyfriends. He will only call them our friends. And he just could not wrap his head around me getting married. He's just, no, you
Tell
can't.
us the details. So you go up to the future father-in-law, her dad, and you ask the question, what happens?
He just kind of talks his way. He's like a little Italian weasel, like just like talks me out of it. Just like, you guys need to be just going to school and like,
you need to be friends.
Working and just like, you guys are great friends. It's awesome to see you guys, make good choices together. And so I'm like, yeah, man, whatever, dude. Like, and finally on the 3rd time, I just had to say, listen, man, just so you know, I bought a ring and I'm going to ask her to marry me. I would love your blessing, but I'm doing this.
And he still didn't say yes. He just goes, well, looks like you're just going to do whatever you want to do anyways.
But
so like that song, I'm going to marry her anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe you sang that to her.
Yeah.
To propose.
Paul's great. He's great.
He's going to listen to this now and
he's great.
Hey, that's not how it went down.
Yeah.
So, but actually is how it went down.
Next steps, then you guys already kind of had a life. You were already an entrepreneur doing your thing. How did you start to blend that? And then how long till you started having kids and deciding to make your kids influencers too? How did that journey go down?
So when I was 4 years old, my parents put me into acting and modeling. So I had spent half of my life on set. I was homeschooled half my life. I was always filming and taking pictures and things. And so I was with an agency. And so when we first got married, I was still doing acting. So we were living in Hollywood, just the two of us. And he also wanted to do acting and singing and all things entertainment. We just always loved it. And so we got into that. We both had managers and agents. And then I found out I was pregnant with twins. And I was thinking, well, how am I going to do this? Well, I'm pregnant.
Twins out of the gates.
Right away. Just twins. Here we go. And so we were just so shocked. We just tried, first time we tried, we got pregnant. So it wasn't like we even really knew what we were doing.
Nice.
Superman.
Yeah. It
They
was
call me
actually
Superman.
nuts. And so it just was out of nowhere. I was still auditioning while I was pregnant, but I wasn't saying anything. And finally, I just had to tell my agent, look, I'm pregnant with twins. Like, I've got to just kind of put a halt to all this acting stuff. And as soon as they were born, my agent knew that I had twins, and she said, you want them to go on this audition for the Subway commercial? They're looking for twins. I was like, sure, let's get them in there. Booked it. The first day, they were 2 weeks old. And then they booked a movie the next week. And then
they also booked Days of Our Lives.
Days of Our Lives.
They were on it for like a year.
Wow.
Well, they were on it for 10 episodes, but over the span of a year, they were in 10 episodes.
Yes, and so it's because I was already going out and I already had this agency, and then she knew I was having twins. She just started submitting them and just started, it was like this effect where they just kept booking, and we were like, okay, well, I guess they're actresses now too.
And it helps that they're supermodels.
Thank
They're
you.
the cutest kids, right?
Cute.
They're
so
so
cute.
Cutest kids.
At what point did they meet the Paul brothers? Was that
So
early?
Madison and I were just doing, after I finished school here, I had like a year left. Madison and I moved, literally graduation day, we moved to Hollywood, and we lived across the street from all those Viner kids, Jake, Logan. I mean, there was tons of them. And we ran into him one day on the street.
Before I was pregnant, when we were just doing the acting stuff, just the two of us.
Logan asked Madison to be an actress in one of his little skits, and then we kind of got the bug. We're like, whoa, she grew like 15,000 followers in a day or something like that.
Yes.
And we kind of got the bug, and then...
Well, because we weren't really doing social media, we were doing traditional acting, so there wasn't a lot of the social media attached to it. It was just, the movies and the TV, which doesn't really have that. And so we didn't think about really posting skits and things on Instagram. And at the time, Musically, that was the old TikTok. And so as they would post us, we would gain these hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and then there was money coming from it, and we were going, wow, we're making more money doing this than we are, these other movies and TV shows and commercials that we're filming.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool shift in our life. We went from being poorer than dirt to
we lost everything.
To making a great living. We were so blessed.
Yeah,
it's great.
We had. Well, you can ask.
So you've got modeling and acting and singing going on for you guys, for your kids. What are some of the hardest challenges that come? Because that's not a normal lifestyle for most families, and you're homeschooling on top of that. So how do you guys manage and balance all of that? How do your kids, what do you do to provide some sort of normalcy? I mean, not that you want to, but friendships and how are they treated at dance class? Are they treated differently? Those types of challenges, and what you do to help your kids overcome those.
There are certain situations where the kids have normalcy. I mean, they're actually at dance right down the road right now, so they have a lot of time to spend with kids, their own age, and they have lots of friends in gymnastics and things like that. But yeah, we do homeschool. We do a homeschool for a number of reasons. We feel like school, well, at least it was. At least the last couple of years that we did the traditional elementary school, they would show up to school and they'd have 30 kids waiting for them to pick them up and carry them to their class.
We would have this group of, there was about, 15 fourth and fifth graders. They would literally pick them up and carry them across the playground to their line where they had to stand before the bell rang. And we were like, why can't they just walk? What is this? It looks like, it looks so odd.
They're all fifth graders that spend time on TikTok and kind of have seen them, over the years, or,
They thought they were cute. They're very small for their age. And so they look a little too little to be in first grade. And what happened was it actually was causing some issues because the teachers that were out on their duty out there at the recess, were telling them, you're not allowed to pick up these kids. You're not allowed to play with them anymore. They've got to have their own friends in first grade. They actually told them they weren't allowed to talk to them. So Tatum and Oakley came home one day and were sad because they said, hey, the teachers told them all the fourth and fifth graders are not allowed to talk to us anymore. I was like, that's not right.
Mm-hmm. They're like, fans essentially of theirs, but it was just psychologically for them, because they don't really see themselves as well known. They just see themselves. They know they are, but they don't think that way, right?
I thought it was rude. It was just we actually had to go in and talk to the teachers and say, listen, they said it's distracting and it's kind of, it's too much. And I said, well, it's not fair for my girls because they think they're just having all these kids be nice to them. And now
they
you're telling
want to
them
be
they can't.
treated normal. They want to have
Yes.
friends. They want a normal childhood. So is that why you guys pulled them out and started homeschooling, or how did you end up?
Not-
doing
It wasn't.
Not really. I don't think we pulled them out because of that. I think the main reason is there's a lot going
There was
on
a
in the
lot
world.
of reasons. So one of them was, I felt like we never saw our kids. We'd take them to school at 9 a.m. They wouldn't get out until 3:40. So by the time they got in the car, it was about 4 p.m. And then their dance started at 4, so we were always 30 minutes late. Their dance started from 4 to 6. And so if three of the days of the week, we would only see them for dinner. And I was thinking, I don't even feel like I'm raising my children. I don't even feel like I'm with them. I don't feel like I don't even know what they're doing all day. If they share a story with me, that's all the little amount I'm getting is that little story they're going to share that they remember from school. And it was just making me feel sad. I didn't feel like that's what I wanted for my life. I just wanted to be with them, and they're only little once.
I like my kids at home, you know?
Yeah, so you just want them. It wasn't to protect
crazy?
them or weirdness.
No.
It's because you guys just want to be there with your kids as much as you can
Yes.
while they're young and at home and growing up. That's beautiful. So what do you do to give them friends and social activities beyond? Is it just dance? Is it the people at dance, or what other
Yes,
kind of life do they
I
have?
definitely want to find more opportunities to have them be with more kids. Most of their friends come from the dance studio or from their gymnastics class, and a couple of neighbors, some friends from church. But I do feel like when they're at school, they do have that bigger group of friends, and so that's the one thing that I miss. But I did hear from you and from other people that there's co-op groups that I can get involved in next year if we don't do school.
So I homeschool as well for that reason.
Yes.
I want to be as active and as involved in my kids' lives as possible, but I don't do it alone, especially as a single mom of 6. So co-ops are the way. They get friends, they get activities, they get a few other hand-selected mentors in their life. So yeah,
Yes.
That's beautiful. That's amazing.
Going back to Madison, you kind of started to talk about a hard time. So let's hear about that.
The reason we started the social media stuff was because, Kyler used to do sales, and his job was to leave every summer, and you'd have to be gone for 5 months in different states all the time. And we just thought that it's not a good lifestyle for when you've got these little babies. And at the same time, his dad had just passed away from cancer the same time we had the twins. And at the same time of that, we invested all of our money into a business that was it seemed pretty promising. And we had lost our entire investment and all of our friends' investments all in 1 week, all at the same time. And
We talked about that.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yep.
We lost about $2 million in one day. It was horrible.
Between ours and all our friends' money that we all had put in. And because it was so promising that Kyler had seen them sign.
I mean, I watched this guy sign on a
document.
dotted line for a 1 million piece order, 50,000 pieces in production immediately. And we had a cancellation on the day of delivery. So we got an email.
And because it
And
was
it
in
was
another country,
overseas, it's
you
like-
didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
Over in Kyrgyzstan. So we're just like, okay. So that was our first time. We were so young, we didn't know. And so that was our first time kind of having
Loss.
a loss like that. And so we didn't know what to do. And so that's when the Paul brothers were like, you guys got to start a YouTube channel, because the amount of following you've been gaining, you guys love to entertain, you love this world anyway. Why don't you use your talents and kind of start posting vlogs, show everybody what it's like to be a mom? And it was so awkward at first, because now, it seems second nature, right? Because everyone's always pulling out cameras and showing what they're doing now. But at the time, no one was doing it. So to pull out a camera in my house while I'm making breakfast or getting my kids dressed, it felt so unnatural.
Right.
And I was thinking, this isn't normal. This is weird. Who's going to want to watch what we're doing in our house? Because no one was doing it yet, unless it was a reality show on TV. So it felt so uncomfortable. And it took my family a while to catch on. My parents thought it was weird. Like, everything was just awkward,
Yeah.
But Kyler loved it. He was the driving force behind all of it. He was so confident. He thought it was so great. And we were making so much money on just live streaming on Musical.ly for a couple hours. We'd get on there and we'd dance and talk to people. And we were paying all of our rent.
Wow.
With live streaming from dancing in front of our phone.
So you went through this hard times. and so for you to pull yourself out, you obviously turned to social media, right?
Yep.
And you started posting, and you started putting content out there. That
Yep.
was what you felt like really kind of pulled you through.
Totally. Posting this content, all of a sudden we were just making a ton of money on AdSense on our YouTube channel. We were getting brand deals attached to this that people wanted to, have us do brand deals, and just out of nowhere, just blowing up. And so we were way more than he was even on his sales job now. So we were not going to go back. We're like, we were just going to commit to this. We're going to be social media influencers. And it allowed us to have the freedom also to do what we wanted to do before, which was acting. Because a lot of actors, they call themselves starving actors for a reason, because they're out there trying. You can't have a schedule with the job if you're an actor, because you have to be open for all the auditions, last minute callbacks. So that's why they all do these late night, waitressing jobs and things. They don't have a lot of money. They're waiting for the next job. And so for us, we were like, wow, social media will allow us to have that freedom, but it's paying more than some of these actors are even making when they get the job. So it was kind of
not just paying more, but you're now the one in control of your schedule.
And that
so when you're an actor or a singer for someone else with an agency or a contract, you're on their time, you're on their dime. But as a social media singer, actor, musician, influencer, you're in control of your schedule, which helps with your family time. But speaking of dancing, this morning I saw your Muffin Man reel. So I have to ask, when
what the heck? Why did you go that deep?
When you're doing something like
Please
that.
don't watch our cringy things.
How do you decide to do you just go for it and you're
Who
like,
goes back that far?
we'll just see what happens when I'm dancing sexy to Muffin Man? Or do you test it out with a few friends first before you post it?
No,
you just go for it.
So one thing you should know about Kyler and I is we're just the crazy, fun, spontaneous. We don't care about looking silly. I mean, my entire life, that's my personality. My family, I am just like the clown of the family, the clown of my friend group. I'm the one entertaining everybody, being silly at all times. And it's just, it's my personality. It's how I have fun. And so we have these videos that we'll make that we just think are so funny and we're having such a great time. And when we post them, there's people that are going, what in the actual was going on here? And these people,
that's what I was thinking. But also it was hilarious because that is #mom life, right?
Yeah.
You're like, Muffin Man is sexy time and they're all just going to
It
blur.
was also a trend. It's not like we made it on our own. There are other people who were doing it too.
It was a trend. So what happens is you find these sounds that are trending and they're very weird and people are doing the same thing. So there was already 20,000 people who did the same exact thing with a phone, singing to their spouse to that sound. So then you go and see what's trending and then you go take the sound and you do the same thing. And it's a fun. Well, for us, it's fun.
Do you always look for what's trending or do you come up with some ideas like that on your own a lot?
We'll come up with ideas on our own, but I feel like I feel like it's easier to find one that's trending and it'll do better anyway and it's fun and somebody already had, like everyone's doing it, so it's kind of like, oh, let's do it too. But I do think it's cool to come up with your own ideas as well.
So what is your best advice then for some entrepreneurs out there who are running multiple businesses and also maybe want to learn how to be influencers as well within that realm of already having these businesses?
I think just co-mingling the two is important. I mean, if you're a tax guy or if you're a chiropractor or whatever, like you have to kind of like mix the two together because people don't just want to see you talk about taxes. That's boring, They don't want to see you cracking people's backs every single post, Social media is a thing of the world nowadays. So if you don't have it, you're missing out on great opportunities, sales opportunities. So about like mixing the two will give you a better opportunity to reach new audience.
I saw a real estate agent out here who had just recently posted this funny reel of her talking about her houses. I'm not going to go into details.
I'll tell you about
weird.
it. They're talking about the deck and it doesn't matter how big.
It
doesn't matter how big your deck is. Oh, does
Don't
it?
compare
Yeah,
to someone else's deck size.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Okay. So it was this silly.
She's awesome. I like her.
Okay, so we can talk about this on here. Okay,
She's been on our show too.
Yeah,
Everybody-
she's on. Paige is cool.
Okay,
yeah.
so it's funny,
Paige.
right? So
Yeah.
everybody saw this reel. And whether they thought it was funny or cringe or whatever, who cares? It's going out there viral. And then people that are interested in a home or whatever that saw this will click on her page and now she's getting business from it.
Yeah, she
so
is.
it's not always about being so serious. Yes, sometimes you have to post something that's trendy or funny or cringy or whatever it is. And you'll get the hate comments, but you'll also get 300 positive comments more than you got. And even though there's still those 100 hate ones above it, you got more eyes than you have gotten in a while. And so I think it's just a matter of doing that sometimes.
Tell us about what you would say is your most successful post, your biggest post ever.
It's always like when we have like a big announcement, I would say. A baby being born,
Oh, yeah.
a birthday
that's
party.
huge.
Usually the pregnancy announcements, the gender reveals.
I can't even
Everyone loves
think.
those types of videos.
I mean, our biggest, most reach is a couple of shorts that we've done that have done like 80 to 100 million.
oh,
which is
100 million on one
we have
short?
this one
Wow.
video we posted on TikTok, and then we had reposted it on YouTube that got like hundreds of millions of views. All it is the twins inside. One of them, we built this little cafe grocery store thing in our basement. One of them comes out of the grocery store, one of them comes out of the cafe, and it just goes meh, meh, meh. It's 3 seconds. They come out, they look at each other, and the sound is like a sound, and it's going meh, 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 and they're doing their hands like this, and then they go back in. That's all it is.
Wow.
And it was one of our most viral videos, and we're going, what in the world is? Why did this hit
We
the
gained like
algorithm?
100,000 subscribers on YouTube.
From
from that
one,
video.
from one 3 second
Yes,
short.
they just come out and
Yeah.
go. Meh, meh, meh.
I honestly
social
think
media is so weird.
I honestly think that it went as viral as it did because of how short it was. Actually,
I think so.
because of
Yeah.
how short it was, people are like, "Wait, did I miss something?"
So they've
And
got
they
to watch it
again.
100 times.
Yeah.
to see.
Like, wait, did it cut off? Is my Instagram broken? Like, I honestly, or my YouTube broken? So I think honestly, that's probably
so
why.
silly.
So you mentioned, it is random and weird sometimes to try.
Yes.
You can't always figure out the algorithms because
Never
you
know.
don't always know what will go viral. But do you have a formula for how much personal posting versus business promoting that you do?
Oh yes, if I know I have a brand deal going live, or I've had one I already posted that week, I like to make sure I get a lot of personal posts in there in between, so it feels authentic and it flows. There's nothing more annoying than following somebody who's just posting brands. And to make the brands feel authentic, you have to blend it in and really use the product and really share how you really feel, so people believe it. And I don't want to share a brand that I don't believe in, and so for my own self, I want to be authentic. And so we'll
But
post.
we have.
Yeah, we'll post.
We have definitely.
I say I post every day on my page or my kids' page or on TikTok. Every single day I'll post something, whether it's stories, a reel post. I have kind of my time I do it between like 9 and 12, but it gives you those insights and kind of helps you out. But we're posting every day, but not. I don't know. I haven't gotten to the posting multiple times a day yet. I think that's too much. What's up, Kyler's?
never enough.
Kyler's
You did a
taking
photo
stories
right now.
right now of
Yes.
us on
Right
the
here.
podcast. But I don't know if I have an exact formula.
What's
Yeah.
what's the hardest part about being in the public eye? I mean, you've also been actors, and that whole world is a different world, and then now you're out there. I mean, you're out there in the public
Yes,
on a
I
daily
think
basis.
I get sometimes anxiety that people are judging me. So if I'm at the grocery store and my kids are like being crazy and one runs down the aisle that way, I have to be like, what if someone's filming us and I'm like, hey, get back over to the cart, or I don't know, like if they film me getting upset. Or Kyler had one time we were at the jump place, this ninja gym, and one of the kids comes over and starts like, I don't know, they like either pinched or hit or something the other kid. So Kyler's just trying to go get her, not even being rude, just like trying to go, hey, you need to come say sorry to your sibling. And they just run away. No, sprint across the thing. So he's trying to get back here, and as he's walking, he trips. He has his cowboy boots on, trips, twists his ankle, and the whole thing is being filmed by a fan like this. And she's like, "Oh, I just got that all on video."
I looked at her and I said, "Don't post that."
Did
She's
she,
like,
did she
"No,
post
okay,
it?
Okay. No.
"We don't know."
That would have been a great post. With your cowboy boots, I could picture it right
I
now.
stepped right in the corner of a trampoline and just buckled, dude.
Oh.
I told everybody around me, I said, okay, when you take this boot off, my bone's gonna be through my skin. So just get ready, because that's how bad it felt.
And it was
the next
captured
day,
on video.
And it's all on video. And she was so proud that she got this on video. And it's just stuff like that. Like, we just don't want to be filmed by, like, even though we film ourselves, we get to choose at the end of the day what we
Right.
post,
Yeah.
what we cut out. Like, I don't want somebody else filming everything we're doing and not knowing, what's out there. And so I guess that's the only thing, is we just want to film ourselves. We don't want other people to film us.
Love it.
you go viral for the right moment.
Yeah, that would have gone
Yeah.
viral with you and your cowboy boots.
Maybe.
I mean,
Hitting
maybe
the
it would have been
trampoline.
good.
Yeah.
But
Maybe.
we really do appreciate, we have people come up to us all the time for photos and things, and we never get annoyed about that. I think it's so sweet that people want to, that they watch our channel, that they're inspired by us, and they have the confidence to come up to us and say something. So I don't want to give off that impression that we don't want anyone to, take a picture with us or things like that, because we do appreciate everyone.
Okay, parting remarks. So let's
Yes.
start with each of you. What's your greatest advice for business owners? Start with you, Kyler.
I think for me, what I've learned up to this point in my life is consistency is key. Like you have to stay consistent in anything you're doing. And you have to put in your, 10,000 hours, right? We've definitely put 100,000 hours into this, this business or more. And that's number one, is just staying the course. And I mean, you stay the course and people are going to believe you.
Amen. And you and I have a conversation because there's a lot of grind involved in this thing.
Yeah.
Having to wake up every day and say, okay, what can we do to be interesting? Like, how do we get this content out there? That kind of stuff. And sometimes I'm sure it's an absolute drag, but like you said, it's staying consistent.
Yeah.
Still
Staying
putting it
consistent. Also, I think it's really important to bring your true self to it instead of trying to be like somebody else. So many times I find when you're starting a business, ooh, I like the way that she did that. Oh, I like the way she did that. Oh, mine's not as good as hers. Oh, I should be more like this. And you can get down on yourself and want to give up so easily. But you have to realize that every business, they might have been doing it for a lot of more years. And so wherever you're at, just being okay with knowing that there's room for growth, that you don't need to be where they're at now. I think that's what gets me down the most is knowing that there's somebody else we sometimes will get down that somebody else is posting something similar to ours and they're getting more views. It must have been their thumbnails brighter. Oh, it must have been, we need to get a better editor. We instantly start going to, well, why is theirs getting more views instead of realizing, well, let's stay in our lane because we're doing something right. People are still loving what we're doing. And if we stay consistent, stay true to ourselves, people will see that we're being true to ourselves.
How do you find that voice? Because I think what you're saying is some people try to mimic. They see these big influencers. They try to mimic what they do, and it's not authentic, right? How do you find that voice?
I think it comes from self-confidence. I think you really have to do some deep diving into what is authentic to you. If there is something that you're seeing someone else is doing that can motivate you, I think that's great to be motivated by others. But I think then how can I bring myself to it? I don't know. How do you find the voice, Kyler? Is it just comes from really knowing yourself better? I think it's from knowing yourself better.
I still haven't found my voice. 100%.
That's a great answer.
To be quite honest with you, like I'm still kind of working on that, so that's hard for me to answer. It is because to be honest with you, there are definitely artists that I would like to be like, but
you're being inspired by them.
For me, I would say, especially for music, it's all, I just want to be super intentional with my music. I want it to apply to my life. I like to be in every writing room. I don't like to just pick somebody else's song up. That's how I find my voice, I guess, is just staying authentic to like what my life is and what my experiences are. And then I apply them to my songs. I don't know if you hear that.
I do hear that. Yeah, your music is beautiful and inspirational, and it does feel authentic to you. But all of us, no one does anything alone. No one is completely self-made. We're all inspired by others, and that's how you, like you even said, you use trending things. Like the Muffin Man video was trending, and so you created your own. But you then make it your authentic version, and I think just stepping into that, the more you put yourself out there by what you're inspired by, and you give credit to what you're inspired by, but you're building it and evolving as you go, and you never find yourself. We're all just creating ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you never fully find yourself. You're just like always creating and always growing and finding different parts of you at all times.
I will say, watching the channel and watching all the reels and all that stuff, everyone says the same thing about you, that you're willing to be so real in front of the screen. This is your real self.
Yes.
And that's, I'm sure, when you see your fans, they feel like they know you because it's not like you're acting on that. It's like real life. It's like I'm picking up the kids and I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and and sometimes they're hard and sometimes they're funny and great, but they get to see a true sense of your true personality, right?
I really try to show all the hard times. Like, I'm not nervous to go into my laundry room and show them my pile of clothes, piled up. I talk about a lot of my weaknesses on my Instagram page, and sometimes I wonder if that's opening up too much, but what I have found is that people can connect to it better. Nobody wants to see that picture perfect stuff all the time.
No, that makes it real and relatable. That's what you and I were talking about before.
Yes.
When someone's like, how do you do it all? And you're like, I don't. Here's my laundry room.
It's true.
Proof and evidence I don't do it all. And that makes them feel almost safe and secure in the fact that knowing, oh, she is real. Oh, she's not perfect, so I don't have to be perfect either. Let's all be real.
Yep.
It's been an absolute honor having you both on. Thank you so much. I mean, this was like it was like the planets aligned. You like kids were over here dance, and we have a couple of boys showing up at the office here in a minute. So this was like our perfect opportunity to connect.
I think we should have the kids on next time.
Yeah. Oh, that would be amazing.
Let's do that. Let's do the whole family and then do a podcast.
Okay.
That'd be rad.
Let's get that done.
I can't wait to see what their answers would be. It'd be amazing, especially the twins. Oh,
let's line it up.
I love it.
Thank you both.
Let's go.
Yeah,
thanks a lot.
much.
Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Do you know the Muffin Man? Oh, do you know the Muffin Man? Oh, do you know the Muffin Man? Oh, do you know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man, the Muffin Man that lives on through